Andarki namaste. I am K. Anil Reddy, JL in Political Science, Government Junior College, Kachiguda. For the last few classes, we were learning about the union government. Union government, as you have noted in the introduction, that union government consists of union executive, legislature, and union judiciary. So far, we have learnt about the president and vice president as part of the union executive. So, union executive simply consists of the president, vice president, prime minister, and the council of ministers. So far, we learned about the president and vice president. In today's class, we will discuss about the prime minister of India. As you know that we have adopted parliamentary system in India. So, the main features of the parliamentary system are there will be two executive heads. One will be nominal and the other will be real executive. Here, the nominal executive is the President of India. Okay, that means the entire administration is performed by the President of India, but the real powers will be exercised by the Prime Minister of India along with the Council of Ministers. Article 74 says there shall be Council of Ministers which is headed by the Prime Minister to aid and advise the President of India in discharging his duties. That means President of India discharges or performs his functions only with the aid and advice of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. Okay, so the Prime Minister is appointed by the President of India, and with the advice of the Prime Minister of India, he also appoints the Council of Ministers. So, the Council of Ministers will be in the office as long as during the pleasure of the President of India. But in reality, as long as they enjoy the confidence of the Prime Minister, they will be in the office. That means, in a simple sense, the entire administration of the country will be run by the Prime Minister of India itself. Okay. So, in his leadership, the Council of Ministers will follow his advices, and Prime Minister and Council of Ministers, both these will help in the discharging of the duties of the Prime Minister, President of India. Okay. So, President of India only follows the advices, okay, and the inputs that are given by the Council of Ministers and Prime Minister. Okay. Now, we'll try and know the qualifications, appointment and tenure of the Prime Minister of India. That Prime Minister of India will be appointed by the President of India. Okay, President of India appoints the Prime Minister. Okay, so how he will appoint? The majority party leader in the Lok Sabha will be appointed as the Prime Minister. Okay, so after every general elections, okay, whichever party gets the majority, okay, that means 50% plus one seat, okay, the party leader of that, okay, person, okay, leader who is having the majority will be appointed as the Prime Minister. Remember, only Lok Sabha majority will be taken into consideration. Okay, whoever has the majority in the Lok Sabha, they will be appointed as the Prime Minister. That particular leader will be appointed as the Prime Minister. Sometimes it might be single party, sometimes there might be coalition governments also. That means if no party gets the proper majority, then okay, it can take the support of other parties and form the coalition governments. Okay, so it depends upon the election, after election atmosphere or situation. Okay, Then coming to the qualifications. So qualifications are very simple. Whatever the qualifications that are required to become an uh, a member of parliament, okay, those qualifications will be enough to become the prime minister. Okay, that means simply a, a person who wants to become the prime minister must and should have, okay, membership in the parliament, that is either in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. Okay, that means qualifications will be little different when come to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. He must be the citizen of India. That is common for each and every constitutional position that a person want to hold. And secondly, in the case of Lok Sabha, it will be 25 years. In the case of Rajya Sabha, it will be, okay, 30 years. So this is the only difference. Rest of the things will be uh, same as far as, okay, both the houses are concerned. So any person who is willing to become the prime minister, he must have he must he must have a membership in the parliament. Those who doesn't have membership also can become the prime minister, but within the period of 6 months, again he has to get elected or nominated to the either house of the parliament. So anyone can become the prime minister, but whenever they are becoming the prime minister, okay, if they don't have membership in the parliament, they should get it by within the period of 6 months since their assumption into the office. Okay, and finally coming to the tenure, we can't say there is a fixed tenure for chief minister. Actual term is for 5 years. Okay, but as long as there is a majority in the Lok Sabha, the prime minister will continue in the office or during the pleasure of the president of India. Okay, two things. One is he should have majority in the Lok Sabha. Then only he can complete his full term. Okay, then during the pleasure of the president of India, as long as president of India feels the administration is, okay, going on according to the constitution, then, okay, the prime minister of India can complete his full term, that is for 5 years. Okay, now let's move on to the powers and functions of the prime minister of India. The prime minister of India performs various powers and functions like president of India and vice president of India. Even prime minister of India also have certain powers and functions. Okay, first one is he is the leader of the cabinet. Prime minister is the leader of the cabinet. Okay, so the first and foremost important thing as far as prime minister is concerned, whenever he assumes office, okay, it is his responsibility is that the formation of the ministry. That means he has to choose some of his party members, or if it is the coalition government, he has to choose his party members as well as other party members who are in coalition with the government and recommend their names to the president of India to be appointed as the council of ministers. Okay, so the prime minister takes steps that some of the members within his party, or if it is an alliance, then his partner parties, okay, he recommends some of the names to the president of India to be appointed as the council of ministers. After appointment of the council of ministers, he allocates portfolios. Portfolios are nothing but departments. For example, you take home, finance, external affairs. Okay, these are railways. These can be cited as some of the examples for portfolios. So each and every minister will be allocated a portfolio, okay, by the president of India on the advice of the prime minister. Okay, and if prime minister of India feels that, okay, if any minister is not discharging his duties properly, or if he wants to include any minister, he can do so by, okay, with the help of the President of India. That means whenever he wants to remove or whenever he wants to include, he can include or remove the minister from the Council of Ministry. Okay, and not only that, he can also change the portfolios of the ministers. So all these things will be in the hands of the Prime Minister of India. Not only this, Prime Minister of India is also the leader of the cabinet. As he is the leader of the cabinet, he will make sure that the proper policies and programs of the nation will be discussed in the cabinet. That means he prepares the agenda of the cabinet. Okay, and he will also make sure that what needs to be discussed in the cabinet meetings. So therefore he presides over the meetings of the cabinet, as well as he also influences the policy matters, because he has the real powers. So he can also influence the policy decisions of the cabinet. He not only prepares the agenda of the cabinet, he also influences the policy matters within the cabinet. Okay, so therefore we can say it is the Prime Minister who will influence the policy matters within the country. So this is the first point, which is, I hope it's clear. Okay, so as he is the leader of the cabinet, first he forms the ministry, then portfolios will be allocated to the Council of Ministers. Okay, as he is the leader of the cabinet, he will fix the agenda, and he will also influence the policy decisions within the cabinet. That means all the ministers have to agree to the opinion of the Prime Minister. Next, we will move on to the second point, that is Prime Minister, leader of the Parliament. So Prime Minister is also considered to be the leader of the Parliament. Why? Because he is the leader of the majority party in Lok Sabha, as well as he is the head of the government. So therefore, he can be considered as the leader of the Parliament. Okay, as he is the leader of the Parliament, he informs the programs and policies of the government to the members of the Parliament, either in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. He brings all the matters which his government has taken so far, and he also seeks their cooperation in the implementation of these policies and programs. Because yes, Prime Minister takes the decision, but it needs to be approved by the Parliament. So therefore, he needs the cooperation and support of the Parliament. If those decisions needs to be approved, it should be approved by the Parliament itself. So that's why he will also take the support of his party members, as well as the Parliament members, to implement these policies by passing the bill. And he will also make sure that when the meetings of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha should commence, and when the Lok Sabha should be dissolved. Okay, it is the Prime Minister who takes this important decision. Normally, Parliament meets 3 times in a year. Okay, the dates will be fixed by the Prime Minister of India. Okay, and when to dissolve the Lok Sabha also he will decide. Okay, if he feels that he doesn't have majority, then he can ask for the dissolving Lok Sabha through the President of India. Okay, so this is the second important function that the Prime Minister of India performs. Okay, then moving on to the third point, that is the leader of the union government. Prime Minister is considered to be the leader of the union government. Okay, President is the head of the state, but Prime Minister is the head of the government. Okay, that means all the activities within the country take place in the name of the President. But in reality, the decision making is in the hands of the Prime Minister of India. Okay, so as he is the leader of the union government, he plays a crucial role in the major appointments. Okay, that means under the union government, there will be certain commissions, uh, various departments that will be functioning. For all those commissions, the appointments will be made by the Prime Minister with the help of the President of India. For example, you can take, there are election commission, if you take, then public service commission. Okay, then not only this, there are many statutory commissions that are working. Okay, BC, SC, ST, women, minority, all these commissions. Okay, all these appointments, members and chairmen will be appointed by the president with the advice of the Prime Minister of India. So he plays a crucial role in the appointments. Okay, not only that, it is the Prime Minister along with the cabinet formulates the policies, okay, domestic policies as well as international policy, foreign policies of the country. Okay, so they will prepare the policies, okay, either domestic or foreign policies are prepared by the Prime Minister along with his cabinet. And not only this, okay, so all the policies and programs, okay, of the government, they will make sure they are implemented properly. Okay, the government will make certain policies and programs and overseas planning. Okay, and they will make sure that all these are implemented. Okay, various projects or welfare activities. Okay, whatever they prepare for the benefit of the people or for the development of the people or for the upliftment of the people. Okay, they will make sure that those policies are also get it implemented. Okay, so this is one more important function that the Prime Minister of India performs. Okay, then moving on to the fourth point, Prime Minister is a link between the President as well as the Council of Ministers, Union Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister of India communicates all the important decisions to the President of India. Okay, he furnishes the information which is related to the administration of the country and legislations of the country and the decisions which are taken by the cabinet. Okay, union cabinet. That means in a simple sense, the decisions which are taken by the union government will be communicated to the President of India by the Prime Minister itself. Okay, no minister can go to him officially and communicate these things. Only it's the Prime Minister who will go to the President of India and communicates the entire information. Okay, he will give the entire information, okay, about the country and his government decisions that they are going to make, okay, or that they already made. Okay, and not only this, he also communicates the will and wishes of the President of India to the cabinet. So therefore we can say that he acts as the bridge between the President of India and the Union Council of Ministers or the Union Cabinet, because all the information he carries to the President, and President, if he suggests something, he again comes back to the Union Cabinet and he will convey the same to the Council of Ministers. Then moving on to the fifth point, that is the leader of the nation. Prime Minister is considered to be the leader of the nation. Okay, especially when we talk about the international relations, Prime Minister always represents the nation. Okay, he is the representative of the nation. Okay, on behalf of the nation, he participates in the meetings of various international organizations, or he visits various countries and makes negotiations and concludes treaties with the various countries. So at that point of time, he is the representative of the India. He represents our nation. Okay, so that's why his statements in and out of the parliament can be considered as very crucial. Okay, Prime Minister doesn't have any scope to express his personal opinion. Okay, whenever he speaks on behalf of the nation. Okay, so his statements are considered as the nation's opinion as a whole. So therefore, his statements are very, very crucial because he is the leader of the nation, our country. Then moving on to the sixth point, that is other powers. Okay, so Prime Minister of India also plays various other roles. Okay, he is the ex officio chairman of Niti Aayog. Okay, and Interstate Council, Integrated Council. Okay, and various committees appointed from time to time. So ex officio means here the Prime Minister of India is ex officio means by authority. Whoever is in that position will automatically become the chairman for all these um, uh, all these offices. For example, Niti Aayog, then Interstate Council. These can be cited as some of the examples. So to conclude, we can say Prime Minister is a keystone in the Union Cabinet, because the Union Cabinet runs the Union Government's administration, and for that particular Union Government, he acts as the master. So his uh, his role is very, very crucial in the development of the nation. Okay, so this question is again very important one in the third chapter. Okay, Prime Minister of India powers and functions. It may confer 10 marks. So I recommend all of you to learn this question. Okay, here I would like to give some additional information as far as the Prime Minister of India is concerned. So far, whoever has become the Prime Minister for India have the uniqueness of their own. Okay, so coming to the first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, he is the longest serving Prime Minister, and he died during when he was a Prime Minister itself. Okay, so right from 1947 to 1964, he served our country and died while he was in power. Okay, then Gulzari Lal Nanda, he became the Prime Minister for 2 times. He is called as the acting Prime Minister. Okay, he served for a very short term. Okay, the short term served Prime Minister of India was Gulzari Lal Nanda. He served only for 13 days. Okay, 2 times he got the power, but only for 13 days. And coming to Indira Gandhi, Lal Bahadur Shastri, of course. Lal Bahadur Shastri is well known for his slogan, Jai Jawan and Jai Kisan. He has given this famous slogan. Then coming to Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi was the first lady Prime Minister for India. Okay, he ruled India for 2 terms. Okay, right from 1966 to 1977 and 1980 to 1984. Then coming to the Morarji Desai, he ruled 1977 to 79. He was the oldest Prime Minister as far as age is concerned. He became the Prime Minister at the age of 81. Okay, then he could not complete his term. Then came Charan Singh. Charan Singh was well known for his pro-farmer activities. That means whatever the decisions he has taken in his short term as a Prime Minister, they were pro-farmer. That means farmer-friendly decisions he has taken. Again, Indira Gandhi, of course. Then coming to Rajiv Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi served for the full-fledged term, and he is called as the father of telecommunications in India. Okay, during his term, we got telecommunications introduced in India. Okay, then Vishwanath Pratap Singh, he became the prime minister. He was the first prime minister to lose on no confidence voting. So he has to resign. He lost. Okay, as a prime minister, he was the first one to lose the no confidence motion. Then Chandrasekhar became the prime minister. Chandrasekhar was the first person to receive parliamentary award, inaugural award in the year 1995. Then P.V. Narasimha Rao, he is well known for, okay, father of economic reforms in India. Okay, from 91 to 96, there were many reforms. Then came Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Okay, he served 15 days for the first time. Then H.D. Devagowda, though he hasn't had proper majority, he continued in the office for about 10 months. Okay. Then came I.K. Gujral. I.K. Gujral was the first prime minister who refused to vote on CTBT. Okay. Which is nuclear test ban treaty, which was proposed by various international countries. So we refused it. And he was the person who played a crucial role in the Look East policy also. Okay. Then Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the prime minister. He is the first non-Congress man to complete the first 5 years term, okay, as a prime minister. Then became Manmohan Singh. Manmohan Singh, from being a Rajya Sabha member, he became the prime minister and served the country for 10 years. During his term, nuclear deal is one major achievement that India has seen. And one more, his term is well known for introduction of Aadhaar card. And coming to Narendra Damodar Das Modi, right from 2014 to incumbent, he is the chief minister who became the prime minister, who was born after the independence of the country. Okay, so after the independence of the country, he was born and he became the prime minister to the country. And we have seen various reforms during his regime also, like demonetization, GST, etc. Okay, thank you very much.